शरणं शरणं रमाम्बिगे शरणं शरणं त्र्यम्बके. At the feet of Divine Mother Sree Rama Devi by Mrs. T.N.K Nair. The Early Days Audiobook Part 4C. From that day, two powers alternated in Mother. One was the visible manifestation of the conquering power of Mahakali, and the other was the austere nature of a true sadhaka. She had no desire for food or sleep. Though she was doing all her duties, yet she was indrawn and unapproachable. The sweetness of prema bhava disappeared, and she was often enveloped in deep silence. One night, immersed in the state of cosmic motherhood, she had the vision of the world of sadhakas. In that superconscious perception, she found many in the embrace of sleep, nidra. True vairagya was not apparent anywhere. The veiling power of tamas had them in a hypnotic spell. She could not brook the vision. She could not bear to be on this earth. The unfathomable heart of primal power expanded in her. The divine wrath of Mahakali pulsated in her. A flame of immeasurable power suddenly blazed forward from her heart, and in that effulgence Mother beheld two figures, pure and luminous, bowing low before her. They were Vairagya and Tyaga Purushas, dispassion and renunciation personified. In an imperious bhava, hands raised in blessing, she commanded them to enter the hearts of her children in Grihastha Dharma, so that they may become fit instruments for the accomplishment of her mission. Bowing low, the luminous forms merged in the effulgence, which in turn devolved into the mother's heart. We have to remember that such supramental visions have occurred in avataric lives. Have we not read in Devi Puranas how at needed times various Shaktis have emanated from Devi for the annihilation of the wicked? We can now understand and gauge what a dynamic impact this mystic episode had as a turning point in Mother's mission. In Grihasthashrama, where attachments, temptations, and pleasures abound, the life pattern of many of her disciples underwent a great transformation. Fired by inner detachment and dispassion, many were impelled to do diligent sadhanas along with their worldly evocations. They came forward with remarkable enthusiasm to do the divine work. Soon, many well-knit spiritual centers were formed in many parts of India. Through the regular and intense austerities of the householders in their homes, that influence spread to the younger generation as well, imprinting in their young minds moral and spiritual values and faith and devotion to Mother. As I had written earlier, the sudden upsurge of Mother's Vairagya Bhava had full forceful outlet in the discourses at Mangalore. At a gathering of the devotees, Mother gave an impassioned discourse. Each and every phase of her life had a definite purpose and potent, and hence I gave here the gist of the spoken words. The gathering had sat in disciplined rows, meditating. Mother shone then as the great Guru the citadel of immutable laws and injunctions demanding absolute elegance and surrender. Again, words came like flashing fire, instilling truths. Children, realize well that it is a stupendous task to realize Paramarth in the midst of duties, attachments, and desires of this prapanch. In fear of these multiple challenges of life, some fly to the forest in disgust, fear, and desperation. But Maya is invulnerable, for there too, in that seclusion, they had to conquer the Manasika Prapancha, full with age-long vasanas and karmic reactions. Realized well, the golden opportunity for Mother has come to you with boundless uplifting grace, pouring into you the infinite truths of religion and spirituality, making the Vedantic truths practicable in your samsaric life. Every second, be aware, be vigilant, do not sleep in ignorance anymore, but cling to Mother and her words. Know who she is, for what she has come, and where she is leading you. Be aware. Children, I have revealed to you your true nature. You are Parabrahma Swarupa. You are the legitimate heirs to experience Brahmananda. You are the lion cubs with the soaring power of Atmajnana in you. Are you to bleat like lambs and eat the grass of worldly pleasures? I hold the reins in my hands, and I won't allow you to sleep in tamas anymore. The supreme state attained by yaga, yoga, and tapas is to be attained, for Mother has opened for you the velvet path. Such a golden opportunity will not come to you again. Arise and awake from the dreams of avidya. I am granting you the pearls of wisdom, leading you by hand to the goal. When you become illumined, you will be the children of light and work like giants amidst the discords and disharmony of samsaric life. Self-knowledge is the all-pervading and everlasting truth dwelling in man. Let faith in your Guru lift you to those divine heights. Under the vast impetus of her power, Mother stood up as if to fight all Asuric forces, and we felt the rays of Shakti that emanated from her. She was a column of fire, swift and silent with the power of annihilation. A tornado of power swept over us, awakening us with a jolt. I myself felt transformed with that power of Vairagya Bhava, and from that day, as inner detachment and renunciation rose up in me, Mother touched and transformed many a soul that day with her words, as well as the power of dispassion that emanated from her. Words burst forth again. Never be under the false impression that one has to renounce the world to realize truth. By merely rubbing the body with ashes, holding a jabamala, or wearing an ochre-colored robe, one can never become a true sannyasin. There should be a blazing dispassion, renunciation of all ephemeral pleasures, even up to Brahmaloka. But fear not, come you children, I shall awaken you to the true spirit of Vairagya and Tyaga in the midst of the world and its duties. Childhood, youth, and age come as passing phases. Have inner dispassion. Bhakti without Vairagya is an illusion. When speaking of Vairagya, I become the pillar of Vairagya. My whole life is a sacrifice for the uplift of the children. and till the end it will be so. Let me pour into you all this power and fulfill the purpose of my advent. This inner power of Vairagya is the light on the path. It is Vairagya that removes all obstacles on the inner path and destroys age-long vasanas. Vairagya alone destroys the lingering desires for fame and name and all the luxuries of life. Heed my words, join together and attend the bhajans and spiritual programs. In a subtle form, Mother will be there blessing you. Mother is not binding you. You do not understand that you are already bound hand and foot by 1,000 knots of prarabdha. By taking away the binding knots, I am making you stand on your own feet. Become courageous. Fear itself is death, misery, and dark delusion. Time passes quickly. Come with Mother, fearless as soldiers in the battlefield, to fight all asuric forces and reinstate truth and dharma. Know that mukti is in your hands, but you, my children, should not care for mukti. Be prepared to cast away final liberation, even for the welfare of humanity. You should be unselfish. Duty should be done for duty's sake in a pujya bhava. Be conscious of the divinity in all. Then work becomes worship. With the sword of Vairagya, cut away all the vikalpas of mind. Let the intellect blossom be detached, thus adorned in the pure ochre-colored robes of inner Tyaga. Be firmly seated in the Siddhasana of Vairagya in the numerous action and reactions of prarabdha in life. Let the tributes of knowledge, knower and known, melt in the fire of jnana. Cast aside even the bliss of absolute merger. Array yourself before me with the danda of jnana and the kamandalu of prema. Let me bless you and send you forward to work for humanity. Children of light, I will give you the power of sannyasa in this grihastha dharma and fulfill the purpose of Mother's advent. Remember that Guru's word is Vedavakya. Have the bodha that Guru and God are one. Have Ananya Bhakti, single-minded devotion to Guru and his words. There alone liberation is attained from insurmountable Maya. I have quoted a little of what she said. I am unable to express the breadth and power or the sublimity and beauty of those exalted words. This discourse was significant as in the early days discourses were rare. Later on came the flow of her messages touching every phase of practical spirituality and Vedanta with the direct and authentic experiences of her life and sadhana. Here I am going to relate the circumstances of the old mother's peaceful end, which I was blessed to witness. These are important happenings in Divine Mother's life, depicting the myriad aspects of her life and bringing out the highest moral and spiritual lessons for us. Every act, word, and way of divine incarnations have great import, which often escapes the scope of human understanding. In November 1952, Mother was on a visit to Trivandrum, accompanied by Sree Bhagavan. It was Mother's second visit. Hundreds of devotees who were not privileged to have her darshan on the previous visits flocked to my mother-in-law's house, Meenakshi Mandiram, where Mother was staying. Unable to contain the crowd, we had put a big spacious pandal in the front. The days were crowded with bhajans, discourses, and interviews. Many were drawn irresistibly, and some were blessed with Atmopadesha and thus enlightened with the deeper truths of Vedantic wisdom. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Jai Mata.